Welcome back to Nightcap Chat, the pop culture, comics, and gaming podcast. Today we are talking fast food toys. I'm Blade O'Neill.
I'm Ken Brown.
Oh, Ken, today we are sitting next to my huge pile of fast food toys from back in the day.
This is quite the pile here, dude. This is amazing. You got Star Wars Jar Jar Binks in there. There's Beanie Babies. There's Lord of the Ring glasses. There's even the Disney Animal Kingdom's crunching crocodile.
Yeah, we had to Google this because in this box I found lots of my old Happy Meal toys and whatever, Taco Bell, Burger King, whatever. But there's this little crocodile, and you push on his back, and he chomps. And it said, McDonald's, and it was Disney, and we couldn't think of it, and so we Googled it. Apparently, in the 90s, there was an Animal Kingdom line, and I must have been disappointed getting that crocodile because I saw there was a cheetah and a dragon, and those seemed pretty cool. I know I like cheetahs, when I was a kid, but I'm sure I was just disappointed I got the crocodile.
Yeah, I don't know, dude. This crocodile looks like it could cause some damage on small animals. I mean, this thing like that, if you see a bug nearby, dude, you put that near that bug's gonna scamper, dude.
Don't get me wrong, I certainly remember playing with that thing, but it certainly is a forgettable set. But I mean, I guess starting in some of the earlier stuff we got lined up, we both remember, we're both from slightly different eras, but we both remember Hot Wheels cars.
Absolutely. Oh my gosh, dude, Hot Wheels cars were like the favorite thing to go at the grocery store. It's like I always wanted to go, Mom, I'll go with you to the grocery store, because Hot Wheels cars were always the fun let's behave gift.
Yes.
From the grocery store.
Look, and they were cheap too.
Yes. I don't think they've ever been more than $1.59 anywhere you've ever looked for a Hot Wheel car that was on a normal retail type of outlet.
Except for now, right? Aren't they more expensive now?
They're like $1.09. Sometimes they have specialty cars, where they do theme cars that reach around the $4.99 with the rubber wheels, and they try to make them more die-cast metal than.
Maybe I'm only thinking they're more expensive because I only buy the licensed ones because they just did an X-Men set. And I thought for sure they were $2.99 or something.
Yeah, they may have had something like that where $2.99, $3.99 on the X-Men theme sets were awesome.
And the Star Wars ships were pretty cool.
Yeah, they do themes like Hot Wheels. Man, dude, they have all kinds of licenses. Disney licenses. I mean, as I said too, DC licenses. They've done Marvel licensing on things. I mean, Mattel is all over the place with Hot Wheels on the licensing. Food. Remember, have you seen those Pop Food? They've done cereal box Hot Wheels.
Gosh, I mean, maybe. Yes. I don't collect it, now as an adult, but as a kid, I guess because it was just a cheap thing I was able to get. And I remember getting them for my birthday, and Christmas and stuff, and having the play sets, but
stocking stuffers.
Yeah, exactly.
The perfect toy for parents to buy for their kids.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Great. It's 99 cents or whatever, and it keeps you happy.
Yes.
The one I remember having from the 90s, it was a blue one. I want to say there was a number on it, and it had a big Hot Wheels logo on the hood.
One of the stock cars.
Yeah, I guess so.
With the race cars for NASCAR type of deals.
It kind of looked like that.
Yes, dude. It's like that. Man, dude, there was a Thunderbird Stalker.
Okay.
That I remember along that same line. It was a Valvoline sponsored car, which is another thing too. Even anything could be put on a Hot Wheel car. It was pretty crazy. They were brilliant with more or less probably having a lot of licensing pay for the production of most of those cars at Mattel. I mean, it's funny to see a toy line that has so much sponsorship where it's almost it's too easy to keep the production line going. Do you know what I mean? Barbie, same thing too as well. That's Mattel's secondary one where they probably had licensing deals with everybody to get different types of Barbies that were themed out. NASCAR Barbie. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, and they're doing it even now.
Yes.
I want to say when I was going for the Hot Wheels cars, that was the boys' version of the Happy Meal, and they were doing Barbie for the girls' Happy Meal at the same time. Yeah.
Yes, like that's probably definitely a thing with Mattel that McDonald's was doing at that time.
Yep.
But yeah, I remember as a kid walking into McDonald's and seeing a Hot Wheels car display at McDonald's, and they were real Hot Wheels cars. They weren't like chinked out like plastic versions like most of the McDonald's toys tend to be, as like lower budget versions of the toy lines that are out there that old kids enjoy. These were like full-fledged 100% same model brand Hot Wheels that you get in the store for 99 cents. They were doing it for 69 cents at McDonald's.
Yeah.
And that was like, they had a little window box display of like 14 different Hot Wheels you can choose from, and going, oh my gosh. It's like, where do you think we wanted to go every time we were at the mall, or every time we wanted to go out to get food?
Yep.
It's like, where are you going to say as a kid to a parent? Well, we have to get something on the way back today. Where do you want to go? McDonald's.
That's
you know
right.
what I mean? And it was just, McDonald's hit us perfectly. I think I was reading online today before the show that 1979 was the debut year of the Happy Meal.
Yeah, and that's crazy.
Yes, I thought it was a lot earlier than that, but I guess not. It was just they maybe had some other types of toy promotions, but the Happy Meal with the hamburger, the fries, the small drink, and the toy inside became part of American culture.
See, that's why it has number 44 and it's blue. See, like I do remember having that one.
I think that was one of those Luminas. That looks like a Lumina stock car there.
And this one is from 93. I guess I had it, but this I know I somehow obtained one of these. I don't even know what this is. It's like yeah, I mean you can describe that a little better.
Yeah, okay, dude. Yeah. That's awesome. One of the
and there's no like hood on it. Like the engine is exposed, which I thought was cool as a kid. And there's a flaming McDonald's logo on the side.
Yeah, dude. Ford Model T. Which was kind of cool. It's one of the first, would you say, muscle cars of America.
I guess it's calling it a Ford Roadster.
Yeah. But those were super famous. I remember like when I was a kid too, they had the black one with the orange flames on the side.
Okay. Yeah.
That was one of the most epic looking Hot Wheel cars of its time. And but one of my favorite ones growing up of Hot Wheels cars, unfortunately wasn't offered at McDonald's, was one called the Hot Bird. I don't know if we talked about this in previous shows or not.
Maybe.
But it's like a Smokey and the Bandit looking Trans Am.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And absolutely, to this day, that's the only type of Hot Wheel I still look for. When I'm out and about, it's like, okay, is there a new model of the 77 Trans Am?
Oh, fun.
And it's there are too many different models to try to keep up with on being a diehard Hot Wheel collector, comic collector, sports fan.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Star Wars, G.I. Joe, Transformers.
Yeah, you gotta
figure
out
battles.
Yes. What am I a completionist on? Yeah.
Yes.
That is the collector's plague.
Yes, dude. So which one of these is your favorite ones of your play?
Of all the toys?
Yes.
Gosh, that is hard. I don't have any of them in front of me, but like I think like the 90s X-Men was some of my early like favorite, like early comic book memories. So it was really cool to like see like the toys, but like looking at this set as an adult, it's like it was cool. There was Wolverine. It was cool. There was Cyclops. It was cool. There was Storm, and it was cool. There was Rogue. But looking at these bad guys, like sure, like hey, there's the Blob and there's Avalanche, and like we know who these were, but we were looking at these other two, and so we had to actually look up their names. And Ken in particular like knows his comic book stuff. And I fancy myself as someone with some comic knowledge, and we did not know who the Commando and I don't know, is it Fantasia?
Yeah, I thought that was
Fantasia?
I thought that was a Mickey Mouse magic movie.
She was
Wasn't
like
it last time we checked?
Yeah, she's like got white hair and she has her arms are like tucked in her dress, and so she's like just. Like I don't even know what it's supposed to be.
It's like a cross between Cloak and Destiny.
Yeah. I swore it was going to be Destiny or something. Like, oh, maybe this is just a weird version of Destiny, but it was Fantasia, which is apparently a Rob Liefeld, Fabian Nicieza creation. It's kind of funky.
Figures, no feet, no hands, right? Just a big skirt.
Oh, that was that was the thought behind that design. Like, I don't have to draw her hands if her arms don't come out of her dress. So I have a couple of them in bags somewhere. So those were for Hardee's.
Okay.
Which I guess is Carl's Jr. And everywhere else. Honestly, I barely remember going to Hardee's.
They supposedly had awesome burgers back in the 80s and 70s.
Let me ask you this. there was a fast food restaurant on the East Coast. It was called, it's the cowboy guy. Do you know what I'm talking about? Like,
I do remember that we've more or less pined for White Castle burgers out here for years. And we've never had White Castle burger restaurants. We've had our frozen food sections out here.
Yes.
Where you can get individually wrapped White Castle burgers. But I can't imagine those being anywhere near as good as a fresh White Castle back on the East Coast.
Oh, yeah. I recently had White Castle recently in Vegas and in Chicago a few months ago.
Wow, so they're getting out here.
My goodness. Yeah, well, we're getting one in Scottsdale.
Oh, my gosh,
in a few more months, I believe.
Okay, bucket list thing we need to go do.
Oh man, like have you never had White Castle?
No, I don't consider the frozen food box versions of
it's
them.
not the same.
Yeah,
because
it can't be the same.
When I went to Chicago, I intentionally had the frozen White Castle a few days before, so I can intentionally make the comparison.
Yes,
and I was like, yeah, I don't know. And then when I finally had it, I was like, oh no, yes, this is completely different. And we ordered like a box of 30 while we were driving to this other town in Illinois. And man, oh man, like I was putting them away, and I had some fries, but my mouth is watering, like thinking about it. Like it is a guilty pleasure for sure. And you gotta have cheese on it. Like to me, it's like a extra whatever cents for the cheese. But yeah, you gotta. I don't remember White Castle really having toys, like
no, I don't think they did either.
The most obscure place I remember having a toy that I wanted was Subway.
Oh, nice. Yes.
And this might show how young I am, but they had Blue's Clues toys, and I wanted that handy dandy notebook.
Yes.
I don't think I got it. But I just remember being incredibly disappointed with the Subway kids meal because it had a roll. I ordered a turkey. I remember clearly it was a turkey sandwich. It was on a thick roll, and there was no exaggeration, one slice of turkey on it. And that was it. Like even as a kid, I remember like this is nonsense.
Yeah, it's just like time out. It's like that. Where is this like just pure carb sandwich here? I thought like Subway Eat Less was their promotion.
It was unbelievable.
Do you know what I mean? It's like that. And I didn't know it was supposed to be served less. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And how about you? What was your favorite? What was your favorite kids meal set?
Man, dude, it's it had to go back to the Hot Wheels again, but I do remember as well. They did have a little Lego promotion for a short period of time. Yes, back in 1984.
Wait,
so I was
who was
about
that?
10 years old. It was like a Lego fire engine or something like that. All it was like McDonald's was the person put in the Happy Meal. Let's see if I can find it on here again too, but it was like a little Lego Build-A-Truck. And I was going, dude, anything that was like vehicle oriented when I was a kid, I was all about.
Yeah.
I think like pretty much 99.6% of all American young boys. It's like, dude, if it's got a vehicle, it's cool.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And that was one of the cool things I remember, and I didn't even write this on the list we have here. When the first Power Rangers movie came out, there were dinky little Power Ranger figures, but they came with little vehicle versions of their Zord that they could ride in.
Yes.
And like that's what really set the toy over the edge. Like even though they didn't transform or anything, like they still had, a version of the Zord that they could ride in. And I remember being really excited because I actually got the White Ranger like I wanted in his little Falcon.
Yes, it's like that. They were little Lego sets. It was let me see, I'm looking up now too. Again, it's like I remember it being red and yellow. Yeah, and it was a little truck. I thought it was a fire truck, but I guess it was just a little truck. And they actually had little sets. The cool thing about it too is not only did you get the one that we can make a truck out of a Lego set, you can make whatever the heck you want with them. They work with your other Legos.
And look at that. It's a little helicopter too in there.
And I said too, is like before licensing took over fast food toys, do you know what I mean? Like McDonald's just worked with companies like Hot Wheels or Legos and just like that. What can we do to promote that toy company's toy? And like little airplanes in there. And it was a lot of fun. I said too, it was like that. That was probably my two favorite memory ones was getting a little Lego pack in there. And it was like, 2 or 3 inches, maybe at the most 15 Legos in there. Yep. But it was, part of the $2.99 meal now. Yeah. They'll never do that again because Legos have gotten so expensive now.
Legos are expensive.
There's no way they would do something like more than 8 pieces in there, or the little micro square ones.
I got into Legos more as an adult. And I was like, man, how do kids buy this? Like some of these sets are over $100 for the really cool ones. Like how is it's like, I think they're doing it intentionally because like a lot of their marketing is clearly, like, oh, only adults going to buy this special collector's edition, $800 Millennium Falcon, whatever it is.
Yes.
But one of the cool things about the Legos and the Hot Wheels is like they were like real versions of it, not fake. And I'd argue like we have some of the Beanie Babies here in front of us. Like, although these are real, they're smaller than.
They're about half the size, would you say, or a third of the size?
I would call that closer to half because even their tags are a little smaller. But I want to say some of these were actually like these are just like miniature versions of actual Beanie Babies too that they had because the little worm over there, the little colorful worm. Oh, where'd he go?
There's the kitty cat. There's the I don't know if is that like the Doberman.
Yeah, it's Adobe the Doberman. Because so this giraffe, his name is Twigs. There's a little colorful worm. His name was Inch. And there is on the floor.
Is that here?
So this little. I thought there was a bigger one of these.
Yes.
His name is Inch. I remember the colors of him because he's got a yellow head, and orange, green, blue, and purple body. I thought they had like regular versions of these, but like
does he inch along? Does he like have a little spring?
Yeah,
type
right.
Of thing
No, he's
That'd
just a Beanie Baby.
Yeah,
but I mean.
That is awesome.
Like this was all the way. I remember the jingle was like Beanie Babies at McDonald's.
Nice, dude.
Like I remember seeing that on TV. It's funny how like what a fad these were. Like I remember the sports ones. I think I had a bat. He was a bat and his name was Mark, like based on Mark McGuire.
Nice.
Oh no. It was a cardinal.
Okay.
It was a cardinal named Mark.
Yeah.
Right. I think that's what it was. I did have a bat and I don't remember. It was bat related. I don't know if it was like a Mets thing or something, maybe.
Probably. I do remember some of those. So I had like the Jake Plummer.
Yeah.
Like a cardinal bear, and it said like Plumber and 16 on the back of it. There was also one for John Elway. I remember being like a bluish one that had like Elway and the little Super Bowl 32 patch on his chest there. And I'm going, dude, you guys are even getting me on being a sports fan of the Broncos and the Cardinals, even with these Beanie Babies here.
It's amazing how effective it was because like they were hardly of the licensing that they were. You know, like how is this little cardinal stuffed toy? Mark McGuire.
Yes. Didn't even look like him.
I swear.
That's why I think Pops blew up as they started making the toys look exactly as much as they could like a cartoon version of what they were doing.
That's exactly the point.
And Beanie Babies just made like, let's put our bear with a name on it so you could pretend this bear is a fan just like you are.
Yeah. And I remember like there was a Princess Diana something.
Yes.
I think like a bear.
Yeah. There was a bear. Wasn't it like white with like confetti color to it?
Something like that.
That confetti type of candy you put on top of your cakes.
That sounds right. Okay, that sounds familiar, but like all their licensing was like a real reach to, to the truth. Yes, and that's exactly it. Like, Funko Pops are just Beanie Babies. Like, no, I don't think so because like they're actually figures of the licensing.
They work harder at making it look more like the likeness of whatever you're buying or whatever you're buying there.
And really, like their models have improved because if you look at some of the older Pops, I have like over 550 Pops now.
Wow.
But like when they first came out, I thought they were really stupid.
Yeah.
Honestly.
I got to admit too, I thought it might have been a fad that was going to go away. Kind of like the Mighty Mugs. Remember the Hasbro?
Yeah.
Marvel
those were
Mighty
hard
Mugs?
to get into though.
And those were like super popular for about a 2-year window. Now you can't find them anywhere. And I've heard they're trying to make a little bit of a comeback with them, but
I regret not getting the Dooku.
Mighty Mug?
Yeah.
And it's just but Pops, I think what it was, they were less expensive, if I remember correctly.
I want to say that's true.
And they were more detailed than the Mighty Mugs, because all the Mighty Mugs were exactly the same shape, and all they did was paint the different themes on there, if I remember correctly, right?
At least they're... Oh, yeah. Okay, because it's printed on the shape. Yes, I think you're right. That's right.
And then Funko was, I think, molded. Isn't Pops all molded plastic with the colors? And each one does have a little bit of a different variation to it, even though it is similar looking, but each one's unique.
Their bodies are very different, from mold to mold. I mean, it's the heads that have more or less variety, but that's because of the simplicity of the style.
Yes.
Of the faces, but I mean, like they're not afraid to really sculpt those heads. I mean, look at the Ghost Rider one, for example.
Yeah, like Mighty Mugs, I thought remind me a lot of like, what are those nesting toys?
The nesting dolls. Yeah, absolutely.
Dolls. And it's just like they weren't, unfortunately, but that may have been something that actually helped them do better with Mighty Mugs. It's like you have little miniature versions inside of your bigger one that you can put around different places around your house. But take that idea if you guys want nesting egg fans or nesting doll fans.
Do some nesting pops. Speaking of some of these that had actual version of the toys, when they recently did the Pokemon ones, the toys were whatever, but what really attracted me to them as an adult Pokemon collector was they actually had Pokemon cards.
See, that's
in there,
always...
and there's real Pokemon cards. And so you can see the cards in this, and they're holographic, in their own way.
See, what a great promotion too, because the cards reminds me too of something else. I remember McDonald's did a lot too, was they did the NBA All-Star cards year packs.
Yeah.
And I went back to McDonald's at least 10, 15 times to try to get a complete set of those cards.
See?
And you don't get every card in every pack, but I think the package came with at most 5 cards. I think it was 3 to 5 cards per pack.
Yeah.
And every time you went there, it's like that. Hey, dude, you know what? Let's get a burger and a drink.
That's really
and
neat.
Get some more cards. And I remember having at some point, I want to say close to 50 of those different cards.
Nice.
And it was just, they were cool there. I think from Upper Deck, and Upper Deck was a higher quality of card company, but it's so affordable for them to probably buy bulk of this.
Of course, yeah. And cards are cheap to manufacture.
And they probably got them at a discount too from the company, because the company knows that people are going to go buy more Pokemon cards once they get exposed to these.
But like, how genius was this? Because sure, you have the Pokemon toys, and sure, like as an adult, like I might not have cared about the stupid little figure part of this, but you put a Pokemon card in there, and I still collect my Pokemon cards.
Yes.
Like, oh, wait a second, like now I'm interested in buying them. So I was going to McDonald's every week, like, oh, did you get any of the new Pokemon toys? And you buy them for like $2 a piece because you can buy them a la carte now. So I mean, genius of them for the Pokemon stuff. I think the Pokemon toys have always been, really successful. When the first Pokemon movie came out, Burger King had the license. And so here we have some of the keychains and the tops of the Pokemon, but one of the cooler things was they had a life-size Pokeball, and it came with the little gold, I think they called them like gold cards of the Pokemon, and they were 24 karat gold plated. I don't remember how much they were. But I only got the Mewtwo one when I was a kid. I do have a whole set now, thanks to one of my friends. But like, how cool were those? Like, I don't remember the last time they did something
Burger King
of this kind of range, like with the Pokemon, these balls.
Yes, I mean that's a big caliber of toy promo for a fast food restaurant.
It was, and you had to buy it a la carte it's not the toy that came with the meals. Like these were the ones that came with the meal. This was something you had to buy separately. That's
pretty smart. I said too, is it pulls people in there to get the other food menu items. And it's not locked into, the only way you can get it is by getting like, oh man, a cheap cheeseburger and a French fry. You get to order whatever you want off the menu and then get that on the side. But you have to get food there to be able to buy those, right? You just can't come in and buy those Pokemon balls, right?
I think you can.
Okay, so they just let you get in. At least got people in the door. It was a great hook to get someone into Burger King.
Because they were probably like, what, $5, $10 maybe? I don't really remember. The last time I think they did something like this was the Lord of the Rings goblets, which we also have here. Which it's a full-on glass.
Yes.
Yeah,
I remember McDonald's used to do that a ton.
That's right.
With their glasses.
That's right. Before Burger King did this, they even had Batman and Robin ones.
Yes.
Do you remember that?
They had Sesame Street glasses. I remember as a kid for a short period of time.
And
for some reason.
Mickey Mouse too, right?
Yes, the Disney ones. I mean, McDonald's, man, they had, I want to say Star Wars Return of the Jedi glasses for a while.
That sounds familiar.
I mean, they had McDonald's before the Happy Meal, during the Happy Meal era for adults, they had the tumbler glasses that you could get. They did Shrek glasses. Remember the Shrek glasses?
No, I don't remember. I don't remember Shrek glasses.
See,
I do remember the Batman and Robin one because there was a Two-Face one, and Tommy Lee Jones was flipping his coin, and the coin flip was the handle. So it was the coin over and over again, like heads, tails, heads, tails, and all along
I do remember that. Let me see, McDonald's promo glasses. Now I'm curious because I know I'm cheating by going online. Yeah, Coca-Cola, it sounds like, did a bunch of them. It's based off what I'm seeing here.
Coca-Cola.
Promotions on it.
You know what? Actually, about 10 years ago, they brought back those classic Coca-Cola glasses, and you can buy them, I think. I don't remember if it came with a Big Mac purchase or if you just bought them separately. but you could actually buy vintage Coca-Cola glasses. And I had a couple of them. There was at least 4 because there was like a slightly green one. I remember like when the slightly purple one came out, like I think I still have one of those downstairs. I mean, like, it was just neat.
Talk about bringing back memories. I'm going through right now, and I forgot, dude. The easiest ones to get, obviously, were the ones with like Mayor McCheese on them, and the Hamburglar, the McDonald's glasses with their own characters on them, like Ronald McDonald glass, the Hamburglar. It's sad to say, but I do remember those sitting in our cupboard as a kid. It's like going, oh my gosh, can I get the Hamburglar glass?
Oh, look, right next to it. Those are the Coca-Cola glasses I was talking about.
And I love the frosted colors.
Yeah,
on
they
them
were
too.
just slightly colored, you know.
Yes, dude. So cool. I said too, like McDonald's, I think, opened that floodgates of let's do promotional items based off of a restaurant.
Yeah.
I mean, is there other restaurants you could think of before McDonald's? Remember Bob's Big Boy used to do promotions when I was a kid, but that was a sit down Denny's type of restaurant.
Yeah. I don't think anyone has successfully did it the way McDonald's
There's
did.
the Muppets ones. I thinking Sesame Street was actually the Muppet movie.
Okay.
Yes, I remember those as a kid too, as well. And those we're looking at right here as it's the Muppet Takes Manhattan, if I remember correctly. I remember the Miss Piggy glass, the motorcycle crashing through the window.
That's funny.
Fozzie Bear in his hot air balloon and just their big bus, their party bus they would go around in. Yes, that's it too. Before even, and there's the Shrek glasses I was mentioning there for you.
Okay, yeah, I don't remember those.
Yeah, Donkey, and there's Charlie Brown glasses they did. I mean, it was pretty brilliant. It was almost like cartoons being based off of toys. Do you know what I mean? It's like, hey, what can we do to make sure that people want to come back over and over and over again? Almost, I feel, I might be wrong, but that probably helped build fast food culture popularity.
I think
more than anything.
I just don't think anyone has done it successfully as McDonald's, because like we were talking about this the other day, and like, you know, well, Burger King, what was Burger King's mascot before the King? And it took me a second to remember, but they had those cool 90s kids.
Yes.
You remember? Like, so it was like the guy with like the Cyclops glasses.
Yeah, with the visors, like the what do you call it? The Venetian blind glasses that you'd wear.
And
yes, dude.
Oh, like the stunner shades. Is that what you mean?
Yes, dude. It's like that where they look like they're Venetian blinds, but they're just like layered.
So like, but like, how successful is that? Because like they tried so hard to be like cool kids, but like it kind of fell short. But I mean, you know, McDonald's, you know the Hamburglar, you know.
Well, they had a whole freaking, like, as I said too, that's what I call the Justice League philosophy. They have a team of characters that you recognize. Do you mean whether it's G.I. Joe or Avengers or Justice League? I even, gosh, dude, loosely compare even the Sesame Street group of cast. It wasn't just like one character that made the brand. They had a group of characters that would associate with just different types of groups of people.
Yep.
Do you know what I mean? And McDonald's was brilliant at. Burger King to this day, I think all he still has at the most is, you know, the King, and that's it. And, you know, it's like, let's go to Jack in the Box. You have Jack.
Jack is pretty iconic now, I'd say.
But he's just one guy.
Yes.
And then, you know, Taco Bell, I don't know. For a while, they tried MC Hammer. Remember that?
I don't remember that.
Okay, in the 90s,
I remember
they used
the
MC
Chihuahua.
Hammer as one of their mascots.
Oh, that's funny.
For trying to get people interested in Taco Bell. Then
Gosh,
eventually, you know, the Taco Bell Chihuahua took over.
Kiddo Taco Bell.
Yes, but now till this day, there's no Taco Bell mascot that you can think of.
No, I can't think of anything for that.
And not even like, you know, Hardee's, Carl's Jr. doesn't, Sonic doesn't. They have those two guys that sit in the car and tell jokes.
They haven't done that in a while though, right?
Yeah,
I don't remember.
They're not as oftenly used. Remember Wendy's had Dave, you know, and Wendy. Like that, you'd never see his daughter, but he'd always refer to his daughter. Like the recipes were.
But since he died, I don't think they used him in a while, right?
I think they have a redhead that's supposed to represent Wendy's. Wendy every once in a while show up in there.
With Wendy's rebranding, like they're trying to be like the fancy, you know, restaurant. You know, especially all the remodeling. You know, have you been in a Wendy's lately? Like they're all like, it's like they have like a fireplace, and it's like. It's all this nice walls and stuff.
It's like the high school date restaurant now.
I will admit, like I do have a guilty pleasure for Wendy's. Like I love the Frosties, and I think we've talked about this before. I don't know. I refuse to call it a chocolate Frosty. It's a Frosty, and I make them ask me chocolate or vanilla, because to me, like, there's no such thing as a vanilla Frosty. It's only a chocolate Frosty.
Have you seen Dairy Queen do a similar thing recently? They're trying to do like a neighborhood pub type of feel to it.
No, but I've been to Dairy Queen like in the last couple of weeks because I've just been dying for blizzards. Because I don't know if I said this again. Like I haven't had a blizzard until I was 28.
Nice, dude.
Like I did not know what I've been missing out. All
it's like
these
better
years.
late than never.
I guess so. Like within the last 3 weeks, I've gone to Dairy Queen twice with my wife to get a blizzard.
Yes,
because I wanted a blizzard.
It's like Cold Stone Creamery of milkshakes.
Yeah. I mean, blizzards are so good.
Yes.
But Taco Bell had. I'm grabbing it right here. So Taco Bell and KFC and Pizza Hut are all owned by
Pepsi Co.
Oh,
yeah.
Well, so I think there's one company in between that.
Okay, so that's well. Like a
sub-company. Because I was going to say what it was, but it's not coming to me. But yes, Pepsi, and they did. They all did Star Wars Episode 1 toys. Okay. I felt like the whole set was pretty underwhelming. Like we have this stupid Jar Jar Binks right here. Like you raise his arms and he sticks his tongue out. It was incredibly disappointing. We had some other ones. Like I remember there was some kind of weird box thing. I think I got like a little Yoda figure at one point. For as deep as that pool was, it was pretty underwhelming, I'd have to say. But what was kind of cool is these little cup toppers.
Yes. And they're like 12-inch action figures with the bottom half cut off.
Yeah, and so the cup like finished the character's body. Ironically enough, Darth Maul here was one of the toppers, and because of his spoiler at the end of Episode 1, he gets cut in half. It's kind of just like a cut in half Darth Maul figure, which is which actually works.
The name of that company I think is called Tricon Global Restaurants. Does that make more sense? And then, but like it's incorporated from Pepsi Company's fast food division as the parent restaurant corporation of KFC, Pizza Hut, and Taco Bell restaurant companies. Is that what you're thinking of? And also Yum brands too. They have after
Yum might have been what I was thinking of. That it was a Yum brand thing because I worked for Pizza Hut for a few months.
Yes,
and I remember seeing some kind of logo, and it was like, and that's how I figured out that Taco Bell and Pizza Hut. Were all owned by whatever it was. I might have been thinking of Yum. Well, another cool set in 1995 was the Spider-Man Happy Meal toys that were from the 90s animated series. Did you ever get any of those, or were you a little old at the time?
I totally missed those, dude. Yeah, it's like I remember seeing them in the restaurants, but I never got them because I said too, I'm pretty particular about like how my Spider-Man toys look.
Yes, they were a little lame.
Yeah, there was like that. Sometimes like that when it's something that looks like it may need to be thrown away by your parents down the road. It's hard for at that age for you to be invested in picking those up. If I was like still like a kid, like do you know what I mean? Seeing it for the first time, like 9, 10, between 10 and 17 even, I would probably say like that, ooh, these are awesome.
Yeah.
But at that time I was 21 and passing them up, unfortunately.
I get it. I mean, I remember getting the Doc Ock, and I thought it was cool because it was a Doc Ock. It was, to me, like he was like an action figure, even though he was maybe 3 inches, and really he was a lot shorter than the rest of my Marvel action figures at the time. But I still had a Doc Ock action figure just by getting a Happy Meal, and I had the Scorpion. It was even on a smaller scale, and he's driving a little car. So apparently they had Scorpion driving a car, Spider-Man driving a car, and Venom driving a car, which I'm sure I wanted that Venom because Venom was my favorite. If I would have saw that,
I probably would have wanted those so bad because I said too, like superheroes and vehicles and the same thing. I guess another thing just popped in my head too during that era was I was spending more time going through drive-thrus rather than stopping inside. And I bet you if I saw them sitting there in front of me, it's like that. You know what? Let me get one of those too as well. Yeah. Can I buy those without the Happy Meal? And back then, I think they were selling them on the side without the Happy Meals for I think like $1 or $2 or something like that. And
it had to have been $1, right? Because I mean, they're $2 now.
Yeah, it's probably $1 then. I would say $1.50 at the most.
Especially how cheap they're looking.
Yeah, but when you see it on just the drive-through menu, it's like that. I don't need one of those. It's like that. I can't get my Big Mac in that toy.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And so it was one of those things, like if I would have been inside the store and seen, like, probably just ironically someone at another table playing with it, going, oh crap, dude, I'm 21 and I still want that thing.
Yeah.
You know what
Hey,
I mean?
there's nothing to be ashamed of. I was buying these Pokemon toys just a few years ago because I wanted the Pokemon cards.
Yeah, and I said too, it's like you see them, and like it's like, once again, if it's what I loved going through drive-thrus, or whether I walked in or not, were the Taco Bell comics by Marvel. Do you remember those?
That sounds familiar.
And there was also a Jack in the Box one-shot special that came out the same year Spider-Man Tobey Maguire movie hit movies.
Okay.
And it was some kind of like Marvel Universe. It came shrink wrap too as well. Okay. And it was, if I remember correctly, the Udon artist did the cover on it, like Pat Lee. And
we didn't have Jack in the Box in New York during that time period.
Yeah, but it was like a one-shot. That was the only thing they offered, was that one comic. And later, Taco Bell did a X-Men one, if I remember correctly, a Fantastic Four one, an Iron Man one, and I want to say either a Spider-Man or an Avengers one.
Okay.
And those were all shrink-wrapped, and they're full-size comics,
nice.
which I thought was pretty cool.
Awesome.
Yeah, and it was just something you could, buy when you're through Taco Bell. Usually it was funny, too, because they were usually sold out, because there was like that whole eBay phenomenon.
Yeah.
That was already going at that time. So there's people like, what? Wow, let's go talk about, oh, they're sold out. Let me go to eBay and pay $15 for it.
Unbelievable.
But it was, I was able to, catch some just to hold my own collection.
Nice.
And another thing too is interesting too, comic promotional items that were outside of comic shops, not fast food, but the GameStop variants.
GameStop variants.
Yeah,
okay.
GameStop did variant covers just for their
store.
Was that
fairly recently?
Yeah, this was the past 5 years. And I think they already stopped doing them because they didn't do very well with them.
GameStop?
Yes. GameStop doing them. Exactly. And unfortunately, they put Hastings out of business with all different variants they tried doing that were exclusives to them. Well, not out of business specifically that, but their investment in getting a Diamond account and getting a Pop account was part of their failure as a retailer, because they started doing so many exclusives and exclusive covers, and their debts were huge to, I think it was, I want to say over 2 million to Funko and over 1 million to Diamond. And they just, they had to file for bankruptcy. That sounds like
Toys R Us at the end, because they stopped making money and they owed money to Funko as well.
Yes.
This is a really similar thing. The most obscure variants that I've seen over the last few years was Hot Topic had a variant
right. Hot Topic's another one too.
I want to say it was Vader Down #1.
Yes, Hot Topic was doing like.
So I have a copy of that, but they weren't popular because I got mine on clearance. Yes. And that's why I got it. I was like, oh, this is on clearance. Like, might as well.
I think they're just trying to capitalize on the popularity of the market. But when it's so niche and you don't have a regular selection of the items, like Funko Pop, they bought all in. And, like Hot Topic is.
Hot Topic has some of the best Funko exclusives.
Yeah. And they bought all in on this. Mm-hmm. And they have already a built-in Pop audience, I think, before they started doing their own exclusives, right?
I'm sure.
Yeah, and then with the comics, it's like they don't have like a built-in comic book buying audience. Yep. And to do exclusives like that are very hard. I remember they're doing My Little Pony.
Did they?
Yeah, dude. Like there's another exclusive that IDW was doing. I don't know, it wasn't Transformers, but Hot Topic was doing something with IDW. Back to the Future.
Okay.
They did a Back to the Future Hot Topic exclusive too, and it was just, people weren't seeking them out. It was such a niche audience looking for those exclusives that they kind of said, okay, let's maybe tone that down a little bit. So luckily Hot Topic's got really good upper management or upper like corporate that will say, okay, if we're not looking at this anymore because it's not doing what it's supposed to do.
Yeah. And I think they're doing fine with merchandising. Like their exclusives are fantastic. And I'm sure that corporate allows all these stores to have their own like Facebook and Instagram pages. So I'm able to follow the local Hot Topic on Instagram, and I know when their new Funkos come in stock, whether it's exclusive or not. And it's genius on them, because even if it's a common I want really bad, I'm like, oh, well, I know Hot Topic just stock. I'm not going to bother checking Target or Walmart. I'm just going to go to Hot Topic.
That's true.
Yeah,
and
then I'll get my reward points.
I feel the internet's really helped booster that possibility for companies to carry their own exclusives, because as soon as they order it, they can start promoting sales of it. And as soon as it's there, if you have like 50 to 75% of them sold, you're in good hands.
Yeah. And I'm sure as a small business owner, I mean, you can, or a comic shop owner, I mean, you guys are some of the only people who can get those previews exclusives, right?
Yes. Yeah, previous exclusives. That's the beauty of being part of, I guess, being a Diamond account, because Diamond does have the ability of all the stores that are on their client base be under one umbrella. So they can go to Funko and to some other companies and say, hey, we want an exclusive made for just our retailers. And then it's spread across 3,000 retailers, each with all their own budgets.
Nice.
So it makes it a lot more realistic for us to invest in that.
It's like you guys getting your own exclusives too then, right?
Pretty
in
much.
a way.
Yeah, exactly.
And they get some cool ones.
Absolutely.
I think. Especially there was a Red Sonja one, I remember, and the Ghost Rider ride.
Yeah, was that glow in the dark Ghost Rider they had come out recently, and it's I like them. Those are the only ones I heavily really purchase because the ones that are mass market, I figure that they're so easy to get elsewhere. I try to really stick with getting a lot of the previews exclusives, which are exclusive mostly to just people that have a Diamond account. And then if there's something that you think absolutely is going to do well, then you order, just in case it does sell out elsewhere on some of the other more popular brands. But Funko it's like the jelly bean of toys, dude. There's variations or something for everybody out there.
Absolutely. Well, that's about all the time we have for today. We hope you enjoyed this fun-filled fast food toy episode. But Ken, there's a lot going on with comics this week. What's going on with that?
Man, we're getting a back-to-back week of Powers of X this week.
Nice.
Because they had the big reveal of Moira McTaggart we talked about a couple episodes back. And the last reveal, spoiler alert, if you guys haven't read Powers of X #2 yet, is they revealed how important the intelligence of the universe is. And so I'm kind of thinking, they talk about the phalanx, they talk about hive minds, just things that are super intelligent, almost like mutant intelligence. Now, I don't know if they're going this way, but Moira McTaggart's special gift is her intelligence that she's learned from life experiences being reincarnated over and over and over again. So I'm wondering if they're hinting that Moira somehow donated all of her knowledge to these mutant intelligent gatherers. Or life forms, alien life forms that are just seeking the most intelligent forms of life out there. And that may have what saved Earth over invasions by the phalanx is that, they see the value of Moira's recreation. And so if they exterminate that race, there's getting rid of that intelligent gatherer that's out there. Who knows if that's where they're going, but that's kind of something I felt super, super interesting point of them. Why are they focusing on mass intelligence now?
Yeah, that's interesting. I mean, this was such a big reveal that was early. I'm wondering if this bomb was dropped in issue 2.
Yes.
What is it going to be? 5 or maybe is she going to do a new onslaught?
That's what I'm wondering too,
or something crazy like that.
Well, that's what it was. A theory was coming along like that. Her 6th life is not on the timeline. Of those 10 timelines, her 10 lives.
Okay.
And I'm kind of wondering, is the 6th life one that deals with Professor X and Magneto merging of the minds in Onslaught?
Interesting.
Because if you look at what's going on now, Magneto and Professor X are working close again. And they're not merging of minds, but they're on the same page. So I wonder if Moira kind of somehow, I don't know how she could block that timeline out of the memory of Professor X or Professor X reading her mind.
Yeah.
But who knows? Maybe she did what we're seeing is Professor X's map of the timelines that he read out of Moira's head. And that number 6, he kind of didn't see, but maybe because she has figured a way to, okay, I know how out of these previous 5 lives, I met Professor X 4 times. I learned how to block his mind probing in a way.
Interesting.
And let him know only what she wants him to know because of the consequences of what happens. And that may have been the Onslaught saga.
Yeah, very fun. Well, I guess I'm sure we will revisit what's going on with House and Powers of X in a few episodes from now as the story progresses more. But thank you all for taking the time to listen to this episode. Don't forget to share it, like, share, subscribe. We see you guys listening and liking every week, and so we continue to grow, and we appreciate your ongoing support. Thank you all for listening.
Thanks you guys again.